Hello, my name is Jamil.
And as Ioannou community has continued to grow, it was really important to me to continue the mission of passing the mic to other activists in order to share their stories and perspectives from around the globe. Jamie Windust is not only a young trans writer, cultural commentator and model based in London, but also just such a joy to learn from and with. In this series, In Their Shoes, Jamie asks an array of guests about the obstacles they've overcome to live life to the fullest, in their shoes. It is a show about obstacles, perseverance and spirit. It's a bit silly and irreverent, but mostly just fun, and I'm so excited for you all to enjoy it with me.
I stand up because my guest today also does stand up. Today I am joined by the effervescent Tom Allen.
Hello.
Hello. I will sit down. I had to stand up just because of my clothes.
Well, it's a fabulous outfit.
Thank you very much.
Is it more comfortable standing up or sitting down?
Standing up, sitting down,
It's asphyxiating.
it's my tits are through my chest, which is where they should be.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, thank you for sitting alongside me.
It's my pleasure.
Now, I want to talk to you about something that I think we might both have in common.
Oh no, look, you can get it sorted. Speak to the doctor. No, go on, what is it?
Exuberance through fashion.
Well, that is very flattering that you consider me to be that. I hope I'm a little exuberant.
Come on, you've got a mustard sock on.
Well, I'm glad that didn't go on. When I was a teenager, I loved the idea of tailoring in a very old-fashioned way, in a very formal, starchy way. Mm-hmm. And
Starchy.
I love starch. I love a starched wing collar, a detachable one. You have to send. There's only one laundry left that does them. I love it when you see people from sort of late Victorian through to kind of the end of the Second World War. They'd wear high wing collars, starched, very
Right
cool.
up.
Right up,
Can't move.
and then often have a tie with it, not a bow tie, but just a necktie.
Because I do know this about you. You enjoyed a Victorian get-up.
Yeah, I would dress in Victorian clothing as a teenager to try and distract people from the fact that I was gay. Which looking back,
Yeah.
I don't know how well thought through that was.
A top hat and a cane screams heterosexuality.
No one's going to suspect a thing.
Did you find it transported you somewhere else? Because you didn't want to be where you were?
Well, fundamentally, yes, that was what it was. There was no means to express it because it wasn't a time when people really talked about their sexuality. With no means to express it, I think I just... I turned my discomfort in on myself, and really I just wanted at that point to be anybody else at any other era, and so I wanted to be transported to another era in the past, which of course would have been much more repressive.
I could imagine you up a chimney.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ooh la la.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Whenever anybody fantasizes about living in a previous era, they're always in a sort of very high status, kind of luxurious, segment of it, which
Yeah.
of course is very unlikely. The majority of people were having a miserable time.
True.
Building chimneys.
I mean, I imagine the Bromley children of the Victorian era were not the elite.
No, I don't think they were. I don't know what Bromley was at that time. I think it was just a market town on the way to London. So I probably would have been, trading in hay or something. Hay.
I mean,
Hay for sale.
which
In a way is what I do as an adult.
gay for hay.
I'm gay.
Gay.
I'm hay for pay.
Where?
That would have been the name of my market stall.
Hay for pay.
Hay for pay, yeah. And no, only time travelers would have understood what it was a reference to.
What
in the
did you
future.
think the reaction was? Because I think sometimes fashion can be a bit of an icebreaker / a bit of a marmite. Because with me, it either makes people want to be like, hello, you
Yes.
look amazing, or it makes people want to be like, die.
Right,
So-
yes.
Did you find it nourishing, or did you find it kind of polarizing? Did you think people
Yeah, it's.
were kind of torn by it?
I think I felt that in this life, you can feel different and you can try and hide it, or what I felt is I should just go the total opposite and go, I feel different, so I'm going to be as different as I can be.
Yes.
And so that, I think, was one of the motivating factors. Looking back, maybe it was a strange way of behaving, but it's nonetheless what felt right.
It got you here,
That's the main thing.
right here,
On this chair, which I love.
on this Oliver Bonus chair. How have you found now, because style evolves, do you still see fashion as something that you use as that outlet to be like, this is as me as I can be.
Well, I don't know if you relate to this. I felt very much like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be my thing. But I know that if anybody had gone, oh yeah, I feel like that too, I'm going to dress in Victorian clothing, I would have murdered them.
No, I get that, because like if anyone else, like with my face, whenever I see people copy my face, and that's what it is, it's copying.
Yeah. Blatant, flagrant plagiarism.
Only I invented blush.
Yes, everybody knows that.
Yeah, you feel very kind of protective of your aesthetic.
Yes.
It's like your armour.
Yes, I think so. Formal, late Victorian, early 20th century clothing is my thing.
It's your thing.
My thing.
Only you invented the suit.
So what I'm saying there is I invented the suit.
I think with fashion though, it can be quite internally difficult. Like for me, getting to a point where it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Because you essentially have to overcome your internal shame. Do you find comedy a route out of shame?
At times I thought it was a means of hiding myself again and putting on a performance, and then actually I think I only really hit my stride with stand-up when I went, oh, I'm going to tell stories about the things that I'm ashamed of.
Yeah.
And that's kind of led me to the book as well, talking about shame. We spend so much energy going, oh gosh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I'm so embarrassed when I was so different. I remember once I wore a bowler hat because I was going to London and I was getting on the train. Obviously. And one of my teachers got on the train and he was so embarrassed, he walked off.
The train?
He walked into another carriage and sat down. My teachers were embarrassed by me. It should have been the other way around.
In comedy, so how did you do the flip of being like, I'm going to tell stories that
I think it was...
I was ashamed of, but now I'm owning them?
I think it was just realising, well, sometimes audiences will like you, sometimes they won't. You may as well just do whatever the hell you want. To me, at times it felt like I was screaming at my inner self, my inner child, going, look, you got to get on board with you. You've got to like you.
There's only one.
There's
only
only
you're going to get.
So you may as well try and enjoy that. And it's sort of trying to, I think, message to myself of like, look, this is who you are. You can be who you want to be. My dad's always said, the world takes you at your own valuation.
Whoa.
It's a good slogan, I think.
Like a chartered surveyor.
For example, a chartered surveyor. He is not a chartered surveyor.
What would my evaluation be?
Oh, very high.
Very high.
Very high, right?
Low interest rates.
Well, they're at record lows at the moment.
How's my APR?
I would say it's like so many things set by the Bank of England base rate, probably not delivering a great return. But that's the same the world over. You're unlikely to make a high APR. Good for borrowers, not so good for savers.
I saw the other day you had MTV at your house.
Oh, so
But at your mum and dad's house.
I did MTV Cribs, but I still live at home with my mum and dad.
How was that, please?
Actually, a lot of fun. And ridiculous, considering that, like, the famous ones are, like, Mariah Carey walking around her massive house with a salon in the basement.
And it's you in Bromley.
Showing them my mum and dad's water softener. Which they're very proud of, actually.
No shame.
No shame. No shame. No shame. The more non-shame you are, the more people go, oh, that person, they like themselves, I like them.
Yeah, well, like, for example, like you as a 55-year-old man.
Yes, I imagine in 18 years' time, that might be how I'll feel.
But like, for example, living at home, I know we've spoken about that before.
Yes.
A lot of people would think that's shameful.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you just own it and you're like, I'm actually just going to live at home, I don't care. It's a funny comedy line.
Yeah, like I say, it's just sort of reprogramming some of those, well, for me, it was reprogramming some of those kind of negative self-thoughts. Self-thoughts? That doesn't make sense. And exercise has helped me a lot with that. And I would say I struggle when I'm busy, but making time for things like yoga with Adrienne.
Yoga with Adrienne.
I love her.
Yeah, it's very easy to fall into that trap, especially with like exercise. When you do exercise for mental health reasons,
yes,
it can quite quickly kind of fall into that like, oh, should I be doing it? Like,
yes.
Oh, my body's changing. Let's keep going for my body rather than my mind.
I that's so interesting. I absolutely felt that, and I've not had that articulated before. And one of the things I did during the lockdown was read up on codependency, which I'm told I am, which I know a lot of people are, and there are. It is, a wide thing that a lot of people have. But essentially, as I interpreted it, is like you don't do things for your own self. You do things to get validation from other people.
Yeah.
Exactly like what you're saying, I think, that exercise, you start off going, oh, this is great for me, and I feel great. And then go, oh, imagine if I felt great and I felt that I looked perfect. Which, of course, in my experience, I've never been able to achieve the perfection.
Lies.
It's true. It's all true. I don't know, but and then I'm somebody who's never really had a partner, so I suppose I go, should I be more sort of trying to conform and trying to be a certain type so that I'll attract type?
Yeah.
And I go, maybe I quite like being on my own.
Well, yeah, you've got Linda, you've got your mum and dad.
I've got my mum and dad and an inflatable co-host.
Brilliant, thank you. My name's Jamie. How do you, with that codependency,
Yes.
how did you, because I think it's two very different things. One thing, realising that you may be codependent.
Yeah.
How did you then process, you kind of trying to deal with that and kind of process that for you?
I think part of it is just checking in and going, I don't know if I need to do that, or I don't know if, what do I want to do? Sometimes your need is just to go, I need some downtime.
Need some downtime,
I need,
meditation.
I'm meditation, yoga with Adrienne. I'm worth it.
But you can't have downtime, Tom,
No.
because you are about to
Die?
die. Yes, no, you're about to another series of Bake Off Extra Slice.
Indeed, which I'm very excited about.
I actually find your show more interesting
Bless you for that.
because I love anything with teams,
Thank you.
and the stress level of normal Bake Off, just Bake Off, low
Bake Off the
carb,
amateurs.
yes, is not as intense as yours. When they make the sugar,
The sugar show pieces are so tense, and there's always somebody who smashes it on the floor, which is terribly sad and heartbreaking. Liam is normally sent in to do any kind of human connection work,
yeah,
and I'm normally there to make sarcastic comments, but Liam was out of the room, and so I had to go in. It was terrible. I was trying to pick up bits off the floor. They were crying. I was suggesting they make a brooch. It was an interesting experience for all of us.
I think I find comedy very like with just like people.
Yes.
Or just like socially or meeting new people, like comedy is that route into just breaking the ice severely.
Yes.
And how do you find that quite difficult with your image? Like, do you find people expect you to just constantly be funny, and then it kind of means that the conversations you actually want to have can't always be taken seriously?
I do that. I think that if you are human about it, then that's what people like, right?
Yeah.
You know, the classic example, isn't it, of like a loved one dying, and then somebody finds something funny, and in the moments after, not immediately perhaps, but as it happens, like hysterical laugh. Not to sound like I'm some quote on a piece of driftwood in someone's bathroom, but there is happiness and sadness in every moment. I think that it's all part of the same schema. Schema? Never used that word before.
Schema.
Schema. It sounds very German.
Ready?
I mean, I guess.
Jam then cream, or cream then jam?
Jam then cream.
Jam then cream, fine. Matt Lucas or Sandy Toxford?
How can I choose between my children? Matt Lucas, because he's there now. But I do love Sandy.
If you had knee-length hair for a day, what would you do?
Oh, swish everywhere.
Swish.
Like that.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Would you rather spend the day handcuffed to me, or spend the day with me handcuffed to you?
I'm very indecisive, so I'll be handcuffed to you. You can, just
Finally.
show me. Show me what did you get up to the other day.
Carluccio's or the Ivy?
Toughy, but it has to be up the lurch.
I've been waiting to say that. Who looks better, me or you?
Oh, of course you.
Thank you. How much would Buddha chip chat?
I would say approximately 25 kilograms.
Are you sure?
I don't know, I've never met one.
Phone a friend?
Don't know. None who'd pick up a phone call. Who answers their phone? Jeez, it's not the naughties.
So we are 4 months away, Tom, from
Yes.
2021. What do you have to look forward to?
I am very much looking forward to, well, I did mention, I think my book is coming out in November, so No Shame is published on the 12th of November. Also, I'm doing Bake Off an Extra Slice, which is the after show for the, as you say, main Bake Off show. I do that, Joe Brand hosts it, and I crop up doing bits with the audience and the cakes they brought in. Also, I'm doing There's Something About Movies for Sky One, which Alan Carr hosts, and I get to sit next to Jennifer Saunders. What else have I got? Nothing. Maybe.
Any tour? Going back on tour? Any
Well,
thoughts of a tour?
I was hoping to go on tour towards the end of next year, but that might be pushed back slightly because so many people have had to move their own tour from this year back.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Unless I just do a series of matinees.
Pantomime?
And, of course, a constant pantomime, which basically my life is.
Well, pot kettle.
Well, look, I mean, isn't life a wonderful pantomime?
What a lovely note to end on.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Fuck's sake.